Coach, how are you?
Reggie, I tell you,
No, that was my fault. That was my
Reggie
fault.
is good at this. You know,
Well, he is good at it.
he's really good at it. Matter of fact, he's probably better than I am. Reggie, come on, come sit on my lap. We'll do it together.
Coach, thanks for coming up a little bit. Covered a lot of things in that press
Yep.
conference. So let's start looking ahead. This is kind of the transition week. When does training camp and game prep begin?
Well, we'll have one more day tomorrow, and then Thursday we'll exchange scout teams and get ready for Rice. So we'll get Thursday. Friday will be our bench control. So we'll go over about 45 different situations that could occur in a game. And then the game will happen, and it'll be a 46th, right, Jack? Something will happen that's never happened before. So we'll really get, 2 more extra days on Rice with Thursday and then the following Monday, which we normally don't get in a normal game week. So I like a little bit of extra preparation for Rice.
24th year as a head coach. Take me back to your first year. How is this different now for you in your 24th year as compared to your first training camp as a head coach?
You mean other than people really caring?
Yeah. And getting a lot of attention.
A lot of
paid.
attention,
Yeah.
a lot of people being at the press conference. You know, the preparation is very similar. I think it's a lot more detailed. You learn a lot more over 24 years about getting your guys' legs ready. I think I probably that first game, our guys were probably a little bit tired because I was driving them. I was 27 years old. I probably ran them a little too hard. So you're really trying to focus on, peaking for that first game. So the preparation has changed through experience more than anything else, but everything else feels the same.
You've talked about, and in this press conference as well, a lot of guys who are stepping up now. But are there guys who are stepping up, maybe surprising you a little bit, that you're especially pleased with them stepping forward and giving you more than maybe you expected they would at this point?
Well, we always talk about freshmen, but we have a lot of young players that didn't play significant roles last year that are going to play significant roles this year. For example, if you look at Corey Robinson, who didn't play a significant role. He played a little bit. He's going to have to play a lot of snaps. He's been really good this preseason. Durham Smythe is going to have to play a lot of football as the second tight end for us. Those guys. Max Redfield is going to have to be all over the field for us at the safety position. He's going to have to play a lot. Now, Cole Luke has been really good too. So there's 4 names that have been in the program, but and people are aware of them. They're not freshmen, but they're going to have to play large roles for us this year, and they've had really good preseason camps.
You've talked often about the resilience of young people, but this is a different age. You've got social media. People are always in public, and yet with the stuff you're dealing with right now, you go to practice, there is no change. The goals haven't changed. Everybody remains on the same page. I know you expect kids to be resilient, but are you impressed with the way your team is handling their latest bout with adversity?
Yeah, and I know, look, everybody on the outside, sees it one way. On the inside, our players sign up for Notre Dame and come here knowing there are high standards, and those standards are to be met. And if they're not, they're going to be handled and held accountable for. So there's not a lot of reverberation through this program, as others see it on the outside as a major, earthquake within. Our players know the standards at Notre Dame, and if they don't live up to those standards, they're going to be held accountable. So it's harder at Notre Dame, and our players know that. That's why they come here. So if they're not doing the things the right way, then they're held accountable. So it's business as usual for our players. They move on. They miss their teammates. I miss the 4 guys that are not here. We hope all things finish the right way for them, but we move on, and we prepare for Rice.
As you look at your roster, you've got a lot of guys who can play. You've been saying that the whole time. You're going to be playing the toughest schedule in the country. How is the progress on defense coming along, installing a new scheme with lots of guys playing full-time for the first time?
I'm really pleased. Brian's teaching, all of our defensive coaches have done a great job of putting in a system in a very short period of time. We're faster on defense. We're playing more aggressive. I think we're ball hawking the football. Now, we're playing some inexperienced guys, and there's going to be some mistakes made along the way, and we're going to have some tough days that we're going to have to go through. But we hope that our offense is going to be able to make up for it on those days. But it's going to be a fun group of guys to watch develop. And they're going to be veterans by the end of the season because we're going to have to play a lot of young guys, but they've picked it up very well.
And with your national schedule, you not only play a lot of very good teams, but you play a lot of different styles of offense. Is the depth and versatility, the different kinds of guys you can put on the field in different packages, is that actually somewhat of an advantage when you're going to face so many different kinds of offenses?
Well, I think it's an absolute crucial that you have that package to meet the kind of offenses we're going to play, the Northwesterns and the North Carolinas and the Florida States, where you're going to get spread out, and then you play Navy and you play Stanford and you play Syracuse that want to pound the football at you. So Arizona State, is in there as well. So there's just so many different kinds of offenses, and we need these different packages just to be able to play the kind of defense we want.
When you look at your top three quarterbacks, they all, for the first time since you've been here, have a very similar skill set. How comfortable has that been through the first 2.5 weeks of camp in that you don't have to make any adjustments when you change personnel at that position?
Well, I'll just give you an example. Today we ran a 2-minute drill, and I could call the same plays for both quarterbacks, and that's the first time I've done it since I've come here at Notre Dame. And I know that sounds crazy, but we had one call sheet. We could call the same plays, and they executed them fairly well. Then we go to a period called basics where we run our third quarterback, Deshaun Kaiser, and we're calling the same plays. It's just like a Pop Warner team that runs the same offense that the high school runs. That continuity, it's gonna give you the benefits down the road, and we haven't had those benefits for a long time, and now we'll be able to have those benefits with the quarterbacks.
I found it a little interesting that you didn't get more Everett Golson questions today. So I'll ask one. You've had him now for 2.5 weeks. How is he compared to the kind of player he was before he sat out the season?
Well, he's playing. The difference is playing with a blindfold and without a blindfold. It seemed like he was playing the first time here with a blindfold on. Now he's starting to see some things, and he's doing a great job picking up some protections. He's knowing how I've always said this, Jack. When a quarterback knows how to protect himself, he then starts to elevate his game, and he's slowly elevating his game. So he is on the ascent as it relates to being the kind of quarterback that we all envision here at Notre Dame. So pretty excited for him. We're not there yet. He's still got a ways to go. We wish he was 6'5". If he was 6'5", then you wouldn't have a story to write because he'd have it done for you. But he's getting to that point now where it's going to be fun to watch him play.
As we wrap this up, on your to-do list between now and game day, what are the top 2 or 3 things that you feel this team has to get done in practice to be where you want them to be for kickoff? Consistency
at the wide receiver play. We got to have one guy that we can throw the ball to, and when we get one-on-one coverage and we know we're going to come up with the football. If we get that one guy, we're going to be in pretty good shape. I think the other thing for us is to really solidify the cornerback position. Cody Riggs now obviously is going to be one guy. Solidify the other cornerback position. That's going to allow Brian Van Gorder to do a lot of different things in third down.
Coach, thank you for taking the
pleasure.
time.
Thank you.